What is going on, everyone? My name is Ryan from Nefarious Comics, and I am joined by two of the biggest movers and shakers in the comic community today. First, my colleague who needs no introduction at all. She is the queen of comic books, Danielle the Nerdy Girl. What's going on?
Hey, Ryan.
Oh, I am so excited today. We are joined by a gentleman that's been called the biggest comic book seller in the world. He is the owner of Metropolis Comics and Comic Connect. Vincent Zurzolo, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on the show. I just want to say I've been buying and selling comics and collectibles since I'm 15 years old. I'll be 52 in April. And people always ask me, do you still enjoy it? And I got to tell you, every morning I wake up and I feel like it's Christmas morning. I come into the office. I don't know what's going to arrive. And it is just the coolest feeling when something cool comes in. You unbox it and you're looking at something like an Action Comics #1. So it's just the greatest. I love it. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about everything we have available in this event auction.
Well, now that we have your attention, guys, we're here to talk about Comic Connect's event auction number 53 that starts February 20th and ends the week of March 13th to 17th. So without further ado, Vincent, what do you have on that crazy table of yours?
So this is a really interesting Action Comics #1. It's what I call the ultimate entry-level Action Comics #1. It's a facsimile cover, but the Superman and him holding up the card and some of the little things around here are all actually real. The interior is all authentic except for the centerfold. It's missing a centerfold. So in my opinion, this is the ultimate in an entry-level Action #1. I mean, we've sold bags filled with chips of Action #1. We've sold pages. So having something like this is something that makes it accessible to people who can't spend millions of dollars on an Action #1. The next cool book we have is the first appearance of Shazam and Captain Marvel.
That's a really tough book. I just want to highlight that this book does not come up for sale very often.
And what's awesome about this, if you see the sample stamp, this was the sample that Fawcett sent out to try to get people, companies to carry the comic book. And this has been buried in a collection for a long time. It is up for auction.
Really nice colors on that copy too.
Yeah, totally. Two of the cooler Gaines file copies we have.
I love that decapitation cover.
Yeah. So this is Crime Suspense Stories 22 decapitation cover. What makes this so cool is
wow, 9.4.
I stand in there with the woman's head and an axe. It's crazy. It's a 9.4. It is a Gaines file copy. Basically, the publisher of EC Comics kept 12 copies of every book in mint condition in a drawer, and they became known as the Gaines file copies. This is the Mad #1 CDC graded 9.8, highest graded copy. You'll also notice they both have the QES labels. QES is a company we started to help to differentiate and accentuate when exceptional qualities for the grade. It could be a 2.0, it could be a 9.8, but when something looks exceptional for the grade, it should be denoted. They do this in coins, they do this in cards, and now we're doing it in comics. My favorite comic book cover of all time, Venus #19. This is the second highest graded copy known to exist in the world. It's an 8.5. This book I'm expecting to go gangbusters. It's my ultimate favorite 1950s pre-code horror. It's by Bill Everett, the creator of Submariner. He did a massive number of awesome, unforgettable horror covers. And this one I expect to go close to $100,000 in our auction.
It's another one that doesn't come up very often. No. Some of these are really tough.
I mean, low-grade copies go bomb auction.
Crazy, yeah.
It's really incredible. And our cover of our catalog is the Crime Suspense versus the Venus. Which one will go higher? And I can't wait to see which one wins. But either way, whoever gets them, they're the winner, actually. A really cool book is this 1.0 Superman #1. Not often do you get a chance to get a blue label, unrestored Superman. This auction, we have a restored copy, we have a coverless copy, and we have this entry-level one.
Yeah, great entry-level copy.
Really nice copy. Before we get to the Cap 1, I wanted to share this book with you. This is El Sorprendente Hombre Araña.
Wow.
#1.
That's awesome.
Now, what makes this fascinating is Mexico licensed Marvel Comics. They license Amazing Spider-Man. They're printing them twice a month, and they catch up to the original stories very quickly. And they make a deal with Marvel where they're going to create their own original Spider-Man comics. And this is not the first one. This is, I think, the 5th one. But this is a dream sequence where Peter is dreaming that he married Gwen Stacy, that she didn't get killed by the Green Goblin. This is the prize, I believe, for foreign comic book collectors. And a lower grade, this is an 8.5, CBCS 8.5, a lower grade copy, I think sold for $35,000 recently at auction. We're expecting very big book. Super cool book. I mean, just the idea that there's a whole original line of stories in Mexico. I want to read it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Someone needs to translate these stories.
I know, I need a translator.
Yeah, exactly. This one, you know how long it took me to be able to pronounce El Sorprendente. I say it like I'm
Probably said that in the mirror a bunch of times.
Here's one of the coolest books in the auction, Captain America #1 from 1941. Yeah, 41, right before we got into the war. And there he is on the cover, knocking out Hitler. Super, super gorgeous copy, QES certified. Beautiful colors on this book, great corners, gorgeous spine. Overall, I mean, this book is borderline 7.5. It's that nice. I remember when I was first merged with Steve Fischler, my partner, and we would go to conventions, we'd have a wall filled with a dozen Batman ones and probably 10 Cap ones. No joke, unrestored and restored. And over time, like Batman ones would sell like crazy, and Caps wouldn't. And then there was the rumor they were doing a Cap movie, and then the Cap movie came out, and all that built up to a situation where you can't find Cap ones very easily anymore.
No.
These are not easy books to get, especially in a 7.0. It is a knockout copy. I cannot wait to see what this goes for. One of my favorites, and a book that still eludes me from my personal collection.
Well, Cap 1 is definitely my favorite comic book of all time. It's so historically significant. The cover is so just badass and true to what was going on in history at that time. And it's Captain America. Like, he's still, to this day, people call him America's hero.
Yeah.
So that's the comic book that started it all.
That's cool. That's cool. We also do VHS. We have an incredible selection of VHS. And it's like so weird. It's John Travolta. It's Saturday Night Fever. Here he is. Saturday Night Fever. This is a gorgeous IGS graded. The box is an 8.5. The seal is a 9. It is stunning. If you're a fan of cinema, if you're a fan of the disco era, if you're a fan of Travolta, you gotta have this VHS tape in your collection. By the way, I love the fact that they started encapsulating, and there's been a whole collectible boom around VHS. I think it's really cool. And it shows what I think makes it so special. Everybody has a favorite movie, just like everybody has a favorite video game. Like we were talking about the NWC collection, everybody has a favorite movie, and you can collect them from this time period. You can get these VHS tapes. That's really, really awesome. Speaking of which, I just want to pop back in here. Our video game auction is featuring the NWC collection of Nick Mumbrey-Weiler. He was 7 years old, competed in the first Nintendo World Championships in 1990. This is the prized possession, the gray Nintendo cart. It's super cool. There's tons of cool stuff, from baseball caps to tickets to VIP passes, even his trophy, which I have right here, which is so awesome.
I love that trophy so much. That's incredible.
And there are also a great selection of video games as well. And so we have something for everybody. We also have a memorabilia section. And last but not least, let's talk about original art. I love original art, as you can see behind me on the walls. I love comic books. I love collectibles. I love video games, but I really love art too. And our auction is chock full of great art. Boom. Amazing Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome piece from 1988. What's also really cool about it is on the back it has what it was priced at back then, $120.
Yes.
So it's going to go for a lot more than that, folks. A great image of Spidey, if you can see that. This is from issue 311. One of my favorites also by Al Milgrom. This is Gil Kane and Al Milgrom. This is a giant-sized supervillain team-up #2 cover with two of my favorite characters. You got Subby and Dr. Doom teaming up.
It's a great Doom.
Really, really cool piece that I think is going to be one of the biggest pieces in the auction. And for those Darwin Cook fans out there, we have this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous piece with Green Lantern. And I wasn't even aware of how popular the series was, but my goodness, it is so cool. Another great Bronze Age cover. Al Milgrom and Joe Sinnott, Marvel team-up cover. Spidey, Human Torch, the FF. This is a great piece. Great image of Spidey on there.
Yeah.
For those of you who love Jim Lee, in my opinion, one of the greatest modern day comic artists around, and somebody who's continuing to evolve and maybe even getting better and better. Here's this gorgeous Wonder Woman cover that we have in the auction. I've watched Jim draw at conventions. I've actually watched him in Italy draw 2 pieces simultaneously, surrounded by fans, and
That's awesome.
It was mind-blowing to see how quickly he developed from just sketches into this full-figured. He did a Batman and I think a Punisher. It was unbelievable.
Oh, that's awesome. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, this is an awesome piece by John Buscema.
Oh, wow.
The original price on this, $50. Can you see that?
The good old days.
So
I wish.
piece has the previous Herald of Galactus Silver Surfer and what's her name?
Frankie Ray Nova.
Frankie Ray Nova. Really beautiful piece. Great, iconic. And we've got hundreds of other pieces of art in the auction. We are so excited about this. It's for me as an auctioneer, it's the most nerve-wracking period because you want everybody to do really well. And that's why we do shows like this. That's why we promote. We want to get out to the fans and make sure they're all aware of what's going on ComicConnect.com.
Wow, that was amazing, Vince.
What a lineup.
Yeah, most auctions these days, you might see 1, maybe 2 pieces that you just put on the table there. You guys have an absolutely stacked auction. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, that Cap 1 is my pick of the auction right there. I'm a big Marvel guy. Cap 1 is just phenomenal. It's a great book and a great acquisition.
It's a really nice copy too.
Listen, I don't think there's a bad slice of the cake from anything you put on the table, but that's just my pick.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and for me, I'm really excited to see how everything does. Especially, I love that Venus 19. By the way, it's the second highest graded. It's really important to note. I have the highest graded copy. I've had it since 1997. It's from which
that's awesome.
Brought to market, and it's a 9.0. It ain't coming on the market. That's the highest grade you're going to be able to get.
Press that 8.5 to a 9.2.
Guys, and what's worth noting right now, and if you guys have not dealt with Comic Connect before, but would like to put a bid in over $25,000, go to the website, contact Comic Connect. They'll figure it out with you guys, get your account approved, so you can participate in this amazing auction. And just to remind you guys, this is Comic Connect event auction number 53, starting February 20th, running right to the week of March 13th to 17th.
Thank you guys so much. That's amazing. Yeah, we're just super excited. We want as many people bidding as possible. We had extended bidding, which adds to the whole flavor of the auction. So it kind of simulates a live auction experience. When there's 3 minutes or left in the auction, any bid that comes in extends the auction by 3 minutes, so you cannot get sniped, which is a great thing. I know how many times I've bid in an auction and it ends on a specific time, and I go, I would have spent another $1,000 if I had the chance, and I didn't have the chance. Here you'll have that chance.
I actually prefer that way, to tell you the truth, especially when you get beat by 1 bid increment and then you're texting all your friends with like every emoji on the sun that your iPhone has to offer.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we did it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Danielle, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, go get your bids in. And if you have questions, always feel free to reach out to Comic Connect. They're more than happy to help you. Thanks for coming on with us.
Awesome.
So much for having me. Anytime.
Okay, so Vince, can we get a couple of shots of you just like holding up some of the books saying, I'm